Welcome to the haunt.
Yeah, baby.
I'm
phone
Brick.
On silent. Okay, yes. I'm Sheesha. I don't know why I say it like that. Ew.
Like what?
I'm Sheesha. I'm Sheesha. Sheesha.
Sheesha and Brick. Sweet. Okay, cool. So,
Okay, cool.
okay, cool. This might be a little bit all over the place because I don't have my research as organized as I usually like to.
I love a hectic.
But we're just going to go with it.
Pop off.
Today we're going to talk about the cage. This is a fascinating place for me.
The cage?
The cage.
Where'd you find this?
So I saw a video on this years and years and years ago.
I feel like I've seen the same video if I'm thinking of the same thing. I had like a slight memory of like the cage in my head. So I would wonder if it's like the same thing you're going to talk about.
It's very cute. Like it's really aesthetically pleasing. Like I love the look of it.
It's cute?
Yes, it's adorable because it's been like modernized. It's a house right now. We're going to get into it.
Okay, so what I'm thinking of, what you're thinking of, it's
not the same thing? Okay,
no.
okay.
Okay.
Well, this is in...
Maybe I'm thinking of you.
You?
You?
Oh, the show?
The show.
I'm like, what do I have to do with the cage? Yeah, no, that's not what this is. It's not like an actual cage.
You said it was cute?
Yes, we're going to get into it.
Okay.
We're gonna get into it.
Okay.
It's also pretty dark though, so it is like very cute from like an aesthetic point of view, but like when you actually get into it, it's So it's in a town in Essex called St Osyth. So we're going over across the ocean.
Woo.
And the interesting thing about this town is it's named after the daughter of a king. And according to legend, Osyth was beheaded by the Vikings, but, according to legend, she carried her head
no, she did not.
to the nearest nunnery.
No, she did not.
And died there.
No, she did not. That bitch is a lie.
And that's why the town is named after her. But you know, it's also said that in 1171, the village was burned down by a fire-breathing dragon. So there's a lot of... There's a lot of like legends around this.
To a nunnery, and then a dragon burning down the village.
Yeah. There's a lot of like
Just
legends around this
fire
town.
started. My God.
Well, that's the likely explanation, right?
No, it was a dragon.
It could have been.
Fully believe it was a dragon.
Listen, it was 1171.
You never know.
That's a really long time ago, and the fact that they can pinpoint that date is pretty impressive to me.
I mean, shit.
Yeah. But
like we learned from the Alaskan Triangle, mammoths are probably still alive.
Yeah. Who's to say there's dragons don't exist?
And a 1,000-year-old bacteria can get into you and almost take out your life.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean...
anything is possible.
If you just believe.
That's true. That's true. In 1582, 15 local women stood trial for witchcraft.
Okay.
Two of them were hung at the gallows.
Okay, so it's not as bad as what happened in Salem.
No.
Where
but
pretty much everybody was accused.
But this is important to the location I'm going to talk about.
Oh, the two things?
Yes. Well, even just the whole witchcraft trials.
Yeah, okay.
Is very important. So, we're going to start with the witch trials and talk about that a little bit. So, and this is where my research gets a little should have done a little bit more. But there's this woman named Ursula Kemp.
I can't hear the name Ursula and think of anything else
The Little Mermaid. That's kind of how I picture her too, to be honest. I picture her as like a giant squid lady
trying to get at Ariel, which is my daughter's name.
So anyway, She was kind of like a local, witch doctor, except they didn't use the term witch doctor. She was like a medical healer.
A medicine man?
Yeah, yeah. And, she, a midwife, that's what they called her.
A midwife?
Yeah, okay, she healed the sick. So,
Me
she...
too.
Yeah, yeah. Don't we all? Anyway. So, she, apparently became involved in some feud with a local family.
As we all do.
Because this family, she went to their house to help their son who was sick.
Yeah.
Their son miraculously recovered, but their infant daughter ended up dying. Just kind of out of nowhere.
So SIDS.
It's possible.
SIDS was a thing.
It's definitely, yes.
A parent's worst fear.
This was
SIDS.
This was the 1500s though, so like they weren't aware of SIDS.
Well, of course they weren't aware of SIDS, but what I'm saying is that baby died of SIDS.
Yeah. But of course, Ursula Kemp was blamed.
That's some fucking bullshit.
Yeah, no, definitely it is. But what I find absolutely wild is they have on record that she had 4 familiars. And they I'm trying to find if I can find the names
familiars.
Of them. Yes. Oh, here we go.
Like from what I'm thinking of, familiars?
Like animal companions that help witches.
Yes.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's her 4 familiars. She had a male white lamb named Tidy.
Okay.
A male black cat named Jack.
Like Sabrina, but not Jack.
Yep. A female black toad named Pigkeen.
A black toad.
Yes. And a female gray cat named Tiffin. And apparently she fed these animals her own blood. And
that's one way.
And there's rumors that she sent her black cat to kill her sister-in-law. So this all came out during her trial, by the way.
Okay, so unreliable.
Well, there's a lot of hysteria going on. It's the 1500s. This is like one of the massive witch hunts in history.
Yeah.
Aside from Salem is really the big American one, but witch hunts are happening all over the world.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why. I just need to leave them alone. Most of them are nice people.
What's really sad about this though is her 8-year-old son.
Oh gosh.
His testimony is what ended up getting her to confess to being a witch.
Huh?
So his testimony basically proved that she was a witch, and so she confessed after that.
Okay.
Like also, he's an 8-year-old kid.
With an imagination.
Right.
They're falling off my face. Take them off. Okay, now we're both blind.
So, when she confessed, she named other witches.
What a lying sack of shit. Why are you if you're gonna confess, you better keep
She named, we've got all the names here.
Oh,
Alice Hunt, Alice Newman, Elizabeth Bennett, Marjorie Salmon, Joan Peachy, Agnes Glasscock, Cecily Sellers, Joan Turner, Elizabeth Eustace, Annis Hurd, Alice Manfield, and Margaret Gabble.
So all these people were on her bad side.
Well, maybe.
I believe so. She had a list.
But here's the thing. They could have been a coven.
They could have been. Why would you want to take down your whole coven? That's messed up. That's fucked up. You a fucked up person for doing that. Why would you do that?
I don't know. Listen, this was so long ago. Who's to say that any of these facts even are facts?
Well, this is true, but I'm saying from what we're seeing right now, if you're part of a coven, y'all a family. Y'all, you protect.
No, it is.
You got caught. Okay, that's a you problem.
Yeah. No, okay? I agree.
Why are you gonna go grab the entire coven?
I agree.
That's fucked up.
I agree.
That's fucked up. You're a fucked up person.
I agree. Her and Elizabeth Bennett were the ones that were hanged.
Poor Elizabeth.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for her. But she mean. She fucked up.
In 1921, there was a discovery around the lands here of 2 skeletons, which historians believe it's them. the wild thing about these skeletons, okay, they were eventually sold to an artist. And he just had them in his house. I don't know where they are now, but that's like one
okay,
so they were in a museum for a while, and then they were just
sold to an artist.
Sold to an artist. There was no proof that these skeletons belonged to Ursula Kemp and Elizabeth Bennet, but that was like the popular belief that that's who they were.
And they couldn't have done testing to see
they were too old. They were females, but there were a lot of deaths.
Like, well, yeah, I guess a lot of deaths.
There was no way to prove who it was.
I feel like you shouldn't just be able to sell people's human skeletons to just...
That's why it's a little weird.
Anybody. Personally, sell it to a medical school if you're going to do anything.
Yeah,
no. Made into a skeleton.
It's definitely very weird.
That's...
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's very weird. So... So that's the whole Ursula Kemp witch hunt history in St Osyth. Now, the cage was from the 1500s, a prison.
Okay.
This is where these witches were kept before their trials and executions. It was a prison for men, women, and children up until 1908.
Children?
Yeah. It was a prison.
For everyone.
Yeah. Well, I also think used it as like a plague.
Plague hospital?
Not like hospital, quarantine? But quarantine. Because I was going to say, they did not do any care for people with the plague. They just no care shut them to up. Be given. Nope, they're just like, you're gonna stay in the prison.
Die.
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
So yeah. In 2005, a woman by the name of Vanessa Mitchell moved into her dream house.
Don't say it was.
Which was a former medieval jail where the England's witches waited to be hanged and burned.
So if your house is haunted, it's not my problem. You moved into a fucking jail.
Well, here's
dream house. You're a dream idiot. That's what.
It's so cute. Like, that's actually, if you look up pictures, like, it's a really cute little cottage. It's so adorable. So she bought the house.
Cottage or a house?
I mean, it's in England, so it's like a cottage feel, but it's also like very medieval architecture.
Hold on.
Look it up because it's so cute. Like, I actually really love this house. The aesthetics of it. But anyway, she moved into the house knowing that it was most likely haunted, but she was unaware the extent of which it would be haunted. Because she knew...
Where is this located at?
It's in St Osyth, Essex, Britain.
How do you spell Osyth?
Osyth? Yeah. Like, it's a really cute house. It's got very cute curb appeal.
It's yellow.
You don't like yellow? I love the yellow.
It's yellow.
Yes, I love the yellow. You don't like the yellow? It makes it stand out. It gives it that cute little homey feel. No, you don't like it?
I'm not. Why is this bitch holding an Annabelle though?
I believe that's Vanessa Mitchell. So, the previous owner of the house had actually hung himself on the staircase, and that is why the house was on the market. I'm going to talk about that later.
Hi! Wow!
She just came across a picture that's actually terrifying from the cage. Yeah. So... So she moved in knowing all of this. She knew that it was a
jail.
Yep, a prison from medieval times. She knew that the witches were held there.
Very small.
It's tiny.
When I'm thinking of a prison.
Yeah, no, well, it wasn't a high populated town either.
Well, no, but when I just think of, nowadays, you think of prisons are these huge, big.
Well, and each person has like their own cell that they share with maybe one other person nowadays, right? Everyone was just shoved in one room back in the medieval times. It was just one room that they were just all in. Sure. But yeah, so the previous owner had hung himself on the staircase, which is why it was on the market. And the day that Vanessa moved in, literally within the hour while she was moving stuff in, she saw someone behind her.
See, look, I currently live in a haunted house.
Yeah. And like Paul that's what
knows better.
I was gonna say, she moved in knowing it was gonna be haunted. Because like no duh. She was aware of the history. She goes, yeah, it's gonna be haunted. But she was very much unaware the extent of the haunting of this house because it's actually insane. Like
we're gonna get it's totally insane. Like that sounds crazy.
Well, also it's a haunted house and big red flag. The last person who lived there killed himself in the house. Like that's a really big red flag. Like what is there is dark.
A person killed themselves in my house.
Yeah.
Hung themselves. One of the old owners. I mean, no one else has died, and that has. Okay, well, my sister did kill herself, but in a different house down the street.
Okay.
Not in that house.
Yeah. See, that to me is a little bit of a red flag. That's like whatever's there is potentially dark.
No, that the owner hung. But also, Paul is super nice.
Yeah.
Paul's the main ghost. He's super nice.
Okay.
He does the whole little.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that. Yeah. Yes.
Or he'll set off motion sensor toys.
Okay.
He did it with my aunt once.
We should go talk to Paul sometime.
I choose not. I've been wanting to open up like my ghost.
Yeah. Just not where you live.
Correct.
I get that. No, I definitely get that.
Because he is really nice. He's a nice ghost. He doesn't. His intentions aren't ever to like scare us or like make us feel unwanted.
Just wants you to know he's there.
Yeah, and like he will show himself sometimes. Like he sat at the foot of my grandpa's bed once. He woke up and saw my grandpa look at him. And he got up and he walked away, and that was it.
Okay.
He's a super nice old man. And then there's like a ghost child downstairs in my brother's portion of the house that only my grandpa has ever seen. Nobody else has ever seen or heard anything. It's mainly just Paul.
Okay.
And he's super like. Yeah.
I like that you call him Paul.
Well, that's the name that we chose for him. I'm not sure what his actual name is, but we call him Paul.
Gotcha.
I don't know where the name came.
I like that.
I don't know who chose the name. I was born, it was Paul.
Paul. That might be his name.
Maybe. I don't know.
Have you ever done like history on the house to see who the previous owners were?
No.
I want to know how to do that.
That's the thing. I don't know how to do that because if I would know how to do that, I can't just search up. If I could have searched up my address.
Because there were like one of my mom's friends. They live in a haunted house, and like they did like research on the house, and I don't know how they did it, but I think I told you this story because it's actually like really fascinating. They moved into this house while she was pregnant, and as soon as they had their baby, there was like weird activity because like it was fine. Until they had their... I didn't. Mm-mm. So there was, like, nothing weird about it until they had their baby. And then they would find, like, cupboards open and, like, weird stuff. They would hear footsteps in the attic. They had no way to get to their attic. Like, it was blocked off. They would hear kids playing in the attic and, like, weird stuff like that. And there was one night where they were both dead asleep. And they both woke up because someone had grabbed them and pulled them up. And they went to go check on their kid, and their baby had a fever of 102. So they did research on the house, and they found out that there was upstairs used to be a nursery.
Oh, okay.
And there were 2 kids, I think, who died of scarlet fever.
Oh.
And the nanny of the house, like, obviously felt super, super guilty. Uh-huh. And she's the main ghost there, and she's only there when there's kids there to make sure that the kids are okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Right? Isn't that, like, kind of
so
sweet? Right?
Oh.
But I want to know how they found that out about the house.
Yeah.
I should maybe ask them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
house.
Way off topic.
That's fine.
So this house has a little plaque on the outside of it that says The Cage Medieval Prison. St. Osyth resident Ursula Kemp was imprisoned here before being hanged as a witch in 1582. It was last used in 1908. So it's like a historic building that has this little plaque on the outside of it. Um, where was I? Yeah, it didn't take Vanessa long to realize that, like, oh, this house is not just haunted, it's like haunted, haunted.
Yeah, very much haunted.
Yeah, like more so than she was expecting it to be. And she says on a typical day, this is just a typical day living there, things would fly across the room, doors would slam open and shut, lights would turn on and off, and she would just constantly see shadow people. So just, like, your typical day-to-day stuff.
Typical day?
How exhausting would that be to live in?
I would not sleep.
She lived there for 3 years.
So just tell me you were sleep deprived, and then you were hallucinating.
Definitely. She was sleep deprived because she couldn't sleep because there was just constant stuff happening.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. I feel for her. But there was one day, so here's a bunch of just, like, wild stories. Well, first off, the first year she lived there, she had a roommate. And she said that, like, all the paranormal stuff that happened wasn't really that scary because she had someone to, like, talk about it with. Mm-hmm. And they were both experiencing it together, you know? Right, and it's like, whoa! And she found it more, like, kind of amazing rather than, like, scary.
Right.
After that year, her roommate moved out. She was by herself. And, there was one day she had some friends over for tea. Her friends were Neil, who was a sergeant in Afghanistan, and his wife, Kirsty, I believe her name was, and she was a blood nurse. And they go into the kitchen to make some tea, come back out to the living room, and Neil was like, hey, Vanessa, what's this, like, blood splatter on your floor? And she goes, yeah, that's not actually there. Like, we were just making tea, there's nothing there. And just kind of continues on with her conversation with Kirsty. And Neil's like, no, come look at this. He goes down and touches it, picks it up. It's blood. Like, there is blood on his hands. And his wife, who is a blood nurse, is like, yeah, don't touch that. That is blood. Just appeared out of nowhere on her floor. With 2 witnesses.
What? Wait a minute. How in the hell?
Yeah.
Did blood just, like, pop up?
I mean, that's the question, right? That's not normal.
Okay.
Not normal.
Okay.
She, over the course of her time that she lived there, had seen 3 full-body apparitions. 2 were men and 1 was a woman. And she kind of, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on to share her experiences, because, they're wild. Like, actually wild, yeah. So she invited a spirit photographer into her home by the name of Ron Bowers, and he took a picture in her spare bedroom, which is a really weird picture because it shows, like, a really clear but also very fuzzy shadow person. Like, you can see the outline of a person, and it's like a smoke almost. Like, it's bizarre.
It's insane.
Yeah, she said that in that spare bedroom had the most, like, oppressive and depressing energy. She said it's different from the rest of the house. You walk in there and it's just the most intense room in the house.
Really?
Which is very bizarre because it was an add-on from the prison. So the whole upstairs was added on and then the kitchen was added on.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to find this picture because I want to see that.
Yeah.
That sounds...
I don't know. There's so many pictures from there that, like...
Yeah, like, there's a lot.
Yeah. Like, this place is actually insane. I don't understand how she lived there for 3 years.
Couldn't be me.
So, there was a medium who went up to that room, and he said that there was a woman who was always looking out the window to the alley behind the house.
Okay.
Now, the alley behind the house is called Coffin Alley.
Okay.
And it has this name because back in the olden medieval days, this was the road where people would walk coffins of their loved ones from the church to the cemetery. So this was the road to the cemetery from the church.
Okay. All right.
This is absolutely wild to me, but there are still, to this day, from the 16th century, chains on the wall that were there from when it was a prison.
I'm
These
sorry. Rewind it.
Yeah,
There's chains.
yeah,
The physical chains
yes,
on the wall
yes,
from when it was a prison.
yes. And these chains move on their own.
Absolutely not. No. No!
I think that's wild that she was just like casually living in this house while there's like prison chains from the 16th century just hanging on her wall. Like, that to me is wild.
It is wild. From the 16th century, for one, fucking cool. For two, do you know how much energy is in those things?
Oh, yeah. Why do you think things are so constant in this house? The energy in this house is insane.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Someone get her some sage.
Yeah. Well, she's done multiple things, and like nothing has really worked.
Where's that lady from Michigan Hell House? We need her.
Yeah.
We need her.
Yes.
She needs to go to that house and get rid of whatever the fuck is going on.
But also, I don't think it's. I mean, I think there is a lot of like different entities in this house, but I don't think it's just entities. I think there's a lot of like weird emotional imprints on the house.
For sure.
Which I think helps amp up the.
But if you get rid of the entities, you can address
the
emotional imprint with whatever, whether it's the sage, whether it's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to get rid of whatever entity or portal could possibly be in that
house.
Oh,
there's so much going on in this.
Needs to be closed.
Yeah.
Because right now it's just keeping it open and it's just feeling everything. That needs to be closed.
It does. Researching this house is actually like a little bit overwhelming because like it's just constant. Like if you watch, like people have done ghost investigations at this house, and it's just like it's just constant. Like it wouldn't even be fun to investigate, I don't think, because there's just too much going on.
That could be a really good tourist attraction.
It is not open for that anymore. We'll get there. But
who got hurt?
That's not why, but yeah. So Vanessa has a story of her getting ready for work in the morning. So broad daylight, brushing her teeth. Out of nowhere, she gets hit so hard that her toothbrush flies out of her mouth. She gets toothpaste everywhere. Like, and there was nothing there that could have hit her.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. So that like really, really freaked her out because it was a physical attack, which is actually not that uncommon at this house, to be physically attacked. And mediums have come in and they've told her that this entity that does the physical attacking was a jailer back when it was a prison. So like a medieval prison guard. Imagine how much more brutal that is compared to like today's standards. God. So like he's an angry, dark entity that is at that house.
Oh.
There was one day when Vanessa was just watching TV. She sees movement out of the corner of her eye. She turns over. She sees a man with scraggly brown hair. She says that he was so clear to her, she could see the wrinkles on his face.
Absolutely not.
Except it was only the top half of his body.
No.
And he was staring at her.
I can see it in my mind right now. That is...
Like, this makes me want to cry.
Terrifying.
No, like, this actually makes me want to cry. Like, when
I would sprint. If I had to do a window, if I can see a man, the top half of his body, the straggly hair.
Well, and he was moving too. I forgot to mention, he was just like floating while staring at her, like floating across
the room.
Yup.
I am dipping. I am running so fucking fast. I don't run. If I'm running, there's a problem. I'm either being chased by a killer or something is very, 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 very wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm running, you need to run too, because you're also
No, I
in
know.
danger.
I'm aware.
I'd be sprinting.
I mean, I'm the same way. I don't run.
Sprinting to the next hotel.
Yeah. No, like this actually like horrified me.
I can see
and she does like a reenactment of it like in the house, and you like just like see where she is and like where she saw it. Like it's horrifying because there's like banisters kind of that are like in the way, and he goes like in between the banisters, and she says he disappeared into the wall. And I'm like, that is actually horrifying, just like staring at her the entire time. And she lived there for 3 years.
No, she's dumb. I don't care. She's dumb. She's dumb.
Well, she didn't have any other like because she talks about it.
She bought it. Okay. Yeah. Guess what? Rent it out to some other psycho.
We're gonna get there. So she bought the house while she was pregnant.
Oh, oh my god.
Keep in mind,
now you're stressed
she's
out.
a single mother with a baby.
You're stressed out, you're pregnant. That's not good for the baby, it's not good for you.
I don't know if she was pregnant when she moved in, but she did have, when she moved out, she had a 5-month-old son. So she was not pregnant when she moved in, but we're going to get to that in a minute.
Oh. Okay, wow.
So, I forgot what I was going to say.
Chills. Oh my god. I can't get the image of this man floating.
And she doesn't give a very good like explanation of what he looks like, but I can picture him so clearly.
All you gotta say is old man, straggly hair, wrinkles, floating, staring. I see an old man. I get an old man with some reason with bright blue eyes.
Yeah, and she actually
staring
says to like
into my soul,
right? Like that's
with a big
horrifying.
Nose.
It's horrifying. And she talks about too how like ghosts are seen as just like dead people is what she says, and she goes, I know there's something really dark in this house because people are generally empathetic. And she goes, and they know how they were affecting me, like they know I was terrified, and it just got worse and worse and worse over the 3 years that she lived there. Like imagine it just got worse. But like if just a typical day, things are moving and like doors are slamming and that's just like normal stuff, and for it to get worse from that point. Yeah. Like, that's insane.
Wow.
So she goes, yeah, I know it's something dark because if it was, like, a normal ghost, they would have, like, dialed it back a bit, realizing, oh, I've scared her.
They would have chilled out. They would have been like, I have no words besides, holy fuck. Holy fuck. What? I don't understand. I don't understand.
There's something very dark at this house, I think, and
clearly there's something dark at this house. Okay, on to the next one, because I'm stressed.
So when her son was about 4 or 5 months old, she was downstairs ironing one day.
Okay.
Her son was upstairs taking a nap.
Okay.
She hears her son's toys start to go off. Now, she explains, living in a haunted house, there's stuff that's happening constantly.
Yeah.
There are certain things that happen that just, like, not a big deal,
like,
right?
Now,
yeah, whatever.
It's always happening.
Yes. And she said there are other things that when they happen, it's just, like, instant panic. And she goes, there's no way to explain the difference between the things, but it's just...
You get it. You have a feeling.
Yeah. So his toys went off. Instantly, she was panicked. Like, just... instantly is like, oh, the world's ending. She runs upstairs to her son's room. She sees a man.
No.
A different man standing next to her son's cot.
No.
And she said this was the moment that she realized she could not live here.
No.
Because
there was not a man standing next to her baby's cot. There was not. No.
Yeah, and she said this is what freaked her out the most, is he was dressed in modern clothing.
What?
He was dressed in modern clothing. Where, most of the ghosts here are, like,
in
medieval
clothing.
Yeah. So she said that's what freaked her out, like, the most, was that he was in modern day clothes, standing next to her son's cot. And she realized, like, in this moment, she goes, no matter what the cost, we're getting out of here. Because I can handle this fear myself, but I'm not going to subject my son to grow up in this environment.
Oh my god.
So that was the moment she decided she's moving
I'm
out.
telling you, there's a freaking portal in that house.
There's something in the house.
There's a portal.
But that could have been that man that hung himself too, though. But like, there's so much in this house. Like, there's so much. For her to see 3 different full-bodied apparitions in the 3 years that she lived there, and to constantly be seeing like shadows out of the corner, like
I got cramps. Just kidding. Like oh my god. Oh my god.
She says during the last 6 months of her living there, she would get home from work, just force herself to go inside this house, run upstairs to her bedroom, and just stay in her bedroom the entire time. Because she was too afraid to go downstairs or too afraid to go to the other, like, parts of the house. Like, that's no way to live.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
It sounds awful.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like not a good time.
No.
It sounds like...
So...
I'm cramping.
I know. This house, like, actually gives me anxiety.
It's
but
making... Okay. Okay. Wow.
Oh, I did kind of accidentally skip over that one picture that you showed me. But, yeah, she says that people come here all the time, you know, for, like, ghost investigations and stuff. 9 times out of 10, they will catch something on camera. Like, they will take a picture of something, and there will be something there.
Uh-huh.
And she said one of the scariest pictures she's seen was there was a tour group there, and they took a picture of this woman who was with the tour group, and her face...
That face is terrifying.
Was not her face.
That's not her face.
That's not her face.
Not at all. It's terrible. We'll have to
that's
put it
one
up
of the
on our
that's
Instagram.
Yes.
Because it's legit. That's the
Check
most
out our Instagram to see it.
Terrifying
but it is
face I have ever seen.
Yeah. People think that's Ursula Kemp.
Really?
I think so, yeah. But that's one of the most famous pictures from this place. Because it is
why do they think
horrifying.
It's Ursula Kemp?
Because they know that her spirit is at that house. Like, there have been mediums who have come in and be like, yeah, Ursula Kemp is definitely here. I think she was the woman that Vanessa saw of the, you know, the 3 different full-bodied apparitions.
And there's, like, multiple pictures, too.
Yeah.
Of this lady, like, of her head turned and everything.
It's
and even with her head
horrifying.
in a different you can tell that it's not her face.
Yeah.
And it's like a long, like the cliche, long witch nose.
Yes.
It's like in this, and like you can tell, like right
like
here.
Like that's almost demonic.
You can't even tell that it's a lady.
Yeah.
Like you even in this picture, you can tell that like it's not her face.
Yeah.
And like right here, too, when it starts to like kind of like.
It's actually, like, it actually kind of makes me sick to look at that picture. I'm going to be honest.
Freaky.
Yeah.
It's like.
Mm-hmm.
Like that picture is actually terrifying, and
yeah,
it's so. We'll have to post it because it's legit the most.
One thing I also really like about this place too is it's kind of untouched by a lot of the big ghost hunting groups.
Thank God.
I know. Like, imagine.
Ghost Adventure, stay the fuck away.
Oh, imagine Zach Bagans in this place. Gross.
Well, at least if you want to think anything up.
What was that?
I said, wow, because that really was not English for a second.
No.
At least at this place, he wouldn't have to make shit up.
That is true. Yes, that is true.
Get some credibility back.
Yes. So Vanessa moved out, tried to sell the house. Because, mind you, she's a single mom. Of course not. Of course not. She's a single mom. She can't afford another house. Like, she's paying a mortgage for this house that she can't live in.
Right.
So she could not sell it. She ended up renting it out a few times.
Yeah.
Both times she rented it out, they left after 3 or 4 months, telling her this is too haunted to live in. One of the tenants that stayed there actually was physically attacked. Like, Vanessa was saying, like, she was, you know, like, hit by an unseen entity. And that's when Vanessa was like, okay, this is not a safe house. We're not going to rent it out to tenants anymore. And eventually she was contacted by a paranormal group.
She should. If she can't sell the house, you gotta make money on it some way, somehow.
Yes.
You need to let paranormal investigators, whether it's professionals, amateurs like us, or whatever, let them go in there.
That's what she did.
And have them sign waivers that you're not responsible if they get pushed, shoved, hit, whatever. You're not responsible.
That's what she did. So there's a few different investigations there. I didn't really go into detail with them because, like I said, it's not even like fun to watch because there's just too much going on. Yeah. So, but there were a lot of people who went out and investigated it. I love that not all of the big famous groups did.
I wish ghost hunters went out.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
Genuine.
I would like ghost hunters to go there. She did sell the house in 2019.
Oh, good.
It was on the market for 12 years.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. She sold it to someone. We don't know who they sold it to. That's remained confidential. But the person they sold it to did not believe in any paranormal thing. This was in 2019, so I assume they now believe and had a very rude awakening.
They had a very rude awakening. They want to be like, oh, you don't believe in me?
Yeah, watch this.
You don't believe in me? Watch out, bitch. That's probably what.
I really want to know who the owners are now, and like I want to know their thoughts on it. How
do you feel?
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out, huh?
I just really want to know their thoughts on it.
You fucked around, and you sure as hell found out. I got it.
Yep. The estate agent described it as one of the most notorious and well-documented haunted 16th century cottages in Britain. And it's been featured on many television programs in Britain. And people have gone there from across the world to do some ghost investigations.
We should go.
Actually... But here, we don't know who the owners are now, if they allow people.
Oh, if they allow people to go in there and do it.
That's why I said they don't really do that anymore, but...
I wonder who it is.
I know. I want to know, too.
I mean, I would just go and stand outside the house just to see if I could see anybody.
I want to just stand outside the house because it's the whole...
I feel like being in the house
here's the thing, though, too, is a lot of the house was added on, and it's still super haunted. Like that's what she was saying. Haunted. She said there's no place that's like haunted more than another place. Like there's the original
that could also
cage, which is where
it's super haunted though.
What do you mean?
Because they always say like construction can like.
Yeah, but it was built onto, so it's like it would make sense if there was more activity in the place.
Well, no, if there's a portal there, then they were like, oh, now we have more room to torture people. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like they always say construction can bring out entities or whatever.
That's true.
An old thing.
But that was one of the things, too, Vanessa was saying, was the kitchen was a complete add-on. So it had nothing to do with the prison, nothing like that. And she says stuff flies around in the kitchen all the time.
Right.
Like, it's no different than the rest of the house.
Right.
Which is really bizarre to me. It's been called Britain's most haunted house, which is... well, also, Britain is pretty haunted itself, though. It's an old country.
That whole area over there.
Europe itself has a lot more history than we do here.
Russia.
A lot more
a lot more bloodshed happened over there.
Yes.
On all of that land over there.
Yes.
Asia, all of that. All.
Because listen, the only bloodshed here was when us coloners came over and did what we do.
And the Civil War.
Yeah, that was us coloners.
Revolutionary.
I mean, if you think about it, I don't think the Native Americans were involved in the Civil War. Were they?
Probably not.
Were they? I actually might look into that because I don't know.
I mean...
I don't think it affected them any. I mean, it did, but I'm saying the whole issues, I don't think they really... Well, they might have. I don't know.
Depressing questions.
Weird times. Anyway, that's the cage. There's a lot more stuff on that, but like I said, I don't have it all.
It's just a lot.
I don't have it all organized in the way I would like to, but yeah. And like Vanessa even said one time too on camera, she said if we were to sit down and talk about all of the experiences I had, it would take days.
Yeah.
Like
it's insane. That's all insane. And like the picture of the lady and
she lived there for 3 years.
She survived longer. I would have 2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and she
I
did
see
say
the
too.
apparition. Fuck around, find out. Not me, ma'am. No.
She did say too when she moved out, she felt like the house had won. Like it was trying to kick her out, and I think she was just there that long just out of spite.
I don't care how much spite I have. It's not that
Because
deep.
it is a pretty house. Like,
it's pretty, but also, you're not gonna win against spiritual. You can't see the fuckers, okay? You can't see them unless they want to be seen.
That's true. That's true. And oof, when they want to be seen, they're
And the
terrifying.
old man is scary.
I hate when she like.
There's no picture of said old man.
I'm gonna show you her like
in my head.
I'm gonna show you her reenacting that when we're done with this, so you can see like where it was, because it's actually like horrifying. So she's like sitting watching and just sees it out the corner of her eye and looks over, and it's just.
I would let it stay in the corner of my eye. I do not want to make direct eye contact with.
Well, she didn't know what it was. She just saw movement, and I was like, "Oh, what's that?"
Left it at it's a bug.
It's a bug.
It's a bug. A big bug.
Fair enough.
It's a bug.
Well, this guy really wanted to get her attention, I assume.
That's great. I don't care. I'm not looking you dead in the eyes.
That's so gross. I can't.
Cramping again. Oh my god. You know, do you want to hear the professional?
Well, and the blood splatter on the floor. That's what I don't understand. She
fucked around and she found out. I don't know what she was expecting.
She was expecting it to be haunted.
But when there was red flags. For one, it's haunted.
Yes.
For two,
she did say
within an hour of moving in and you saw somebody. Okay, red flag number 2.
Just a shadow.
And the red flag number 3, when it's a daily occurrence that shit is being thrown across the road and stuff's being slammed open, that is 3 red flags. You fucked around, you found out. I don't know what she wanted. Okay?
She did say very early on she realized, oh, she made a mistake.
She made a huge mistake.
But also, before she, like, moved into this house, she said she talked to a medium, and she said she never does that, and it was just kind of, like, on a whim thing, something she wanted to do. And the medium, like, explained this house to her to a T and said, this house chose you.
No. No, you better get your money back, because that medium done fucked up. It fucked up.
I don't know, but this woman's kind of famous now.
I'm so happy for her. But I can't negate the fact that she had multiple red flags within the first year of living there.
Yeah.
And she did nothing about it.
After that first year, she put it on the market. Like, it was on the market for a long time. I don't know if it was after that first year, but it was for a long time before she even moved out. Because she wanted out and could not afford to.
Do you want to hear the professional way of saying fuck around and find out?
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Please test that assumption and then take note of the results.
Love that.
I think Vanessa needs to test out.
Well, she did. She learned, right?
I sure hope she does very deep, thorough investigation on the houses that she plans on being in next.
Oh, yeah. She says she's never buying a house for its historic charm ever again.
Good. Good.
So yeah, that's the cage in St Osyth.
Need more caffeine.
I'm surprised I had enough to fill the time, because that was really like fly off the seat of my pants.
Well, like, that's just, oh my god, I don't even know what to say. That's the craziest thing I've ever fucking heard. I can't get the old man picture out of my head.
Right? Yeah, no, that's
gonna haunt me.
Yeah, no.
In my
There's
dreams.
so much about this place that haunts me. Like that picture.
The old man.
Yep.
The man stand by baby bassinet.
The man standing by the baby. Yes. Yeah.
Because could she tell that it was a ghost? That's my thing.
Yes. She knew right away that it was a ghost. But she said he looked like solid and was dressed in modern day clothes.
I would have bum rushed him. I would have rushed him.
Well, I think he like disappeared. Like
that's great. I still would have rushed him and I grabbed my baby and I would have ran.
I'm pretty sure that's what she did.
Ran to the nearest hotel. Ran.
Yeah.
Forget the car. Probably don't have my keys on me anyways. Nor am I going to search for them at that point in time.
Well, like, here's the thing, too. After living in that house, like any other haunted house, I feel like would be fine to live in.
No.
What do you mean no?
Why fuck around and find out? She did that once. She fucked up.
But
It
like
took her 12 years.
But this
to sell
house
it.
is like this is abnormally haunted. Like it's not a normal haunted house. You know what I mean? Like you live in a haunted house. Are there times where you feel unsafe?
No.
Where you feel like you're going to get physically attacked?
No.
See? Like it's I don't know. I feel like
I
living in a
don't
haunted house
live-
after that would be like
I
normal.
don't live where there's a portal open.
That's what I'm saying.
I live in an old house with a nice ghost that we call Paul. Okay?
But that's what I'm saying is that's very different. So I
Well,
think
why
her
even
living in
put yourself in a situation? You had one bad experience.
Well,
Clearly
she's probably
you're-
not going to put herself in that situation on purpose. But also, is there a house in Britain that's not haunted? That's my question. There probably is.
I just felt something touch my back.
Oh, fun. Ew. I don't like that with what we've been talking about. Oh, guess who just spilled tea?
It felt like someone legit just softly put like their hand in the middle of my back.
I don't like that. I'm glad it happened to you and not me. I'm sorry. Do you need a moment?
I think I'm okay.
Okay.
It didn't like scare me. It wasn't like
Yeah.
I was like it didn't like
Okay,
terrify
so it's
me.
just something letting you know they're here.
Yeah, now I got shivers.
When I said that, or
Just now, I just got
Okay.
shivers. So someone just hello.
all right, cool. Well, that's all we have time for today.
Okay, bye.
That's such an abrupt ending.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening.
Oh.